We've all had a monster in the closet at least once. The one that always hides from our parents as soon as they look inside and or turn the light on. You know they just move under your bed, right? However, as time passes and you start becoming more brave, you find yourself deep in the crevices in your closet, searching for the damn monster. Your stays in the closet get longer each day that passes. One day, you're only searching the corner where your toys are. The next day, you're checking behind your clothes, etc., etc. Then, as you approach high school, you finally come out of the closet, only to realize you've spent the last 10 years or so in fear, only to come to the conclusion maybe the monster in your closet was just that ugly sweater that grandmother bought you from TJ Maxx. Maybe it's because you were too busy on Club Penguin to realize that you threw your clothes in a heap into your closet instead of the dirty laundry like your parents asked, and that's what was causing the stench from your closet door and causing it to open ever so gently. There was no monster in the closet. Monsters don't exist, and if they do, they stop existing once you notice that maybe other humans don't have cooties, right? Well, unfortunately, you're completely incorrect. There is one type of monster that can come to you at any age. Vampires. As you're listening to this, there could be one sitting and waiting for the right moment. However, there are some rules that come with having this monster in your closet. And if you follow these rules, your likelihood of survival might go up and they might move onto a new potential victim. Rule number 1. Never tell anyone about your vampire. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. When a vampire decides to call your closet home, you essentially become their caretaker. So I guess if you think about it in a positive light, you can finally have that pet you've always wanted. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, never tell anybody about your vampire. For one thing, should your vampire not have fed in quite some time, whoever you tell might end up on the menu. And sadly, it may not be all that happens to them once your vampire bites into their neck. On the other hand, and more than likely, if your vampire decides to hide, you will just come off as a crazy person. And who would believe a crazy person? Rule number 2. Make sure to keep your vampire constantly fed by giving them either a constant supply of raw steaks or other humans for it to feed on their blood. Now, you may be thinking, didn't you just say to never out your vampire to anyone you know, as they would either end up as a vampire food or you would come off as crazy? Well, I only said you shouldn't tell anyone you have a vampire. I never said you couldn't lead random strangers into your room and throw them into the closet. But do make sure that they're not people of great importance, or at least make sure that they're an enemy that truly deserves that fate. Just because so-and-so has all 3 god cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! And you want them, does not justify anything. Make it your tormentor from K through 12th grade or something like that. Rule number 3. Always be friendly to your vampire. After all, they're only seeking shelter, and they aren't feeding on you while you sleep. So, always greet your vampire a good morning, afternoon, and evening, and night when you go to sleep. Look for the glowing red eyes that follow you as you pass the closet. You may or may not get a response, but trust me, they heard you. Rule number 4. Be prepared for constant nightmares. The vampire in your closet may be a little playful, and the only way they know how to play is to appear in your dreams and turn them into adrenaline-fueled nightmares. They don't need to bite you to, quote-unquote, infect your dreams. However, no matter how bad the nightmare is, never, under any circumstances, be mean to your vampire. They get bored being in the closet all the time. I mean, what would you do if you were trapped in the closet and you're still in the closet after what feels like an eternity? Rule number 5. Should your vampire ever show themselves to you, do not scream. Do not yell. Do not try and stake them. You only end up as a story on the 6 o'clock news. Even if they are the most repulsive bat creatures you've ever seen. Always smile. and compliment them. Don't overdo it though. Another reason to smile is to know that this is the way of showing you that they are ready to leave. And they want you to know that should you see them on the outside, whether they be the FedEx driver, the cute cashier, or the manager at your local Walmart, you'll know it's them and that you're safe. Rule number 6. This last rule calls for you to close your eyes, stay as still and as quiet as you can, and to accept your fate, as by clicking on this audio and listening through this whole thing, you've been distracted enough to not notice your closet door opening, and one of us is slowly making our way to you. We are sorry we had to trick you like this, but you wouldn't have complied otherwise. We need your blood to survive and thrive. At least now you'll have eternity to memorize the rules to tell the next poor souls. You should have checked your closet one last time, for all time's sake. Oh well.